Condos in Colorado Springs, Colorado. You might be interested in a condo or townhome in Colorado Springs. And most people don't do videos about that market, but I want to do a video specifically about that. So if you're interested in that, you might stay tuned. I'll try to update this periodically so you can keep your finger on the pulse as to what's going on. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Wojciechowski. I'm an owner of homes719.com here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm also a real estate investor, done a bunch of flips and that kind of thing. But today we're talking all about condos in the Colorado Springs market. So here in a sec, I'm going to share my screen with you and show you some stats so that you know what I'm talking about and I'm not just pulling it out of somewhere else. I'm actually backing it up with some stats that you can look at and pause the video and take a closer look at it if you want. If you want something more specific, like a zip code search, reach out to me. I can do a specific video for you on a zip code. I can't niche down any further than that because the data gets a little too sketchy, lower than a zip code. There's like, if I try to go to a neighborhood, there's just not, in most neighborhoods, there's not enough activity to give reasonable, reliable stats on it. So, but I can niche it down to a zip code or do other cities. So you can actually do any city in the country. So if you have any questions about that, let me know and I will, once I know what you want on it and where you want it for, I can do a video for you on it, all right? So let me share my screen and we'll get this rolling. All right, so what you're looking at here is some data based on Colorado Springs, Colorado. It is the city, it is not the metro area. Sadly, I can't do a report on the metro area, but safe to say that the city of Colorado Springs is most of the central part of Colorado Springs that you might be familiar with. Where it's going to mislead you is Security Whitefield and Fountain, which are south of Colorado Springs down by Fort Carson, maybe Monument, Glen Eagle, that would be left out, but the central area of Colorado Springs, even Old Colorado City, all the way over a little bit past East of Power, Cimarron Hills, that kind of area is all included in here. But here you can see I've got it configured specifically for condos. I've got a different video on houses if you want to see that, but that I did, I think, last week. But what we're looking at here, market action index is around 38. And you might be asking yourself, well, what does that mean? So market action index is just a calculation trying to give you some approximation as to, is it a seller's market or buyer's market? And here right now, they're thinking it's around 38. You know, back in COVID land, condos didn't get as quite as high as houses, but they were up in the 80s to 90s. 90 would be a safe bet to say that's where that was at. And, right now we're around 38. So what does that mean for you guys as buyer or seller? That means there's a lot more negotiation going on than there was during COVID land. Here, everything's in play, like it always is. You can ask for anything in a transaction, but, it's at this point, it's much more common to see a lot of negotiation between the buyer and the seller, either for appliances, seller concession, that's money back to you that you might be able to utilize to buy down your interest rate. Might be kind of handy right now. Hot tubs, furniture. There's a limit to that from the personal property side of the house where you just can't, you can ask for anything, but at some point your lender's not going to buy it for you. So you do have to limit that. And, your realtor, hopefully it's this guy, will advise you as to that, what you can safely ask for and get away with before you're going to start having issues with your lender. But next, we're going to look over here at just the charts on the side, and we've got the median list price right now for condos is at 346, and you see it was at 369. So it's come down. What is that? About 20 grand. Houses have come down more. Just to let you know that. Median price of new listings is about the same. This, as you can see there, the date August 11th. And what I like to say is this row is kind of the gas pedal of the market, and this is the current speed. So the more this changes, the more that's going to change. And because this is kind of had a negative slope here, we're starting to see some prices pull down on people selling properties and trying to get them sold as quickly as they can. Price per square foot, I don't like to use that. It's too high level. It will mislead you all day long if you don't know what you're doing with that. So average days on market is a term you hear a lot, but it's not the most accurate. 89 days, and that's from the time it goes on the market to the time it goes under contract. And then you got about 30 to 45 days in most transactions to get it closed. Median days on market is way more accurate to look at, and is one where the smarter people use to describe the market of 56 days. And what a median is it's taken out all the outliers. It's trying to give you the actual, what you're looking for. You know, if you don't have a crazy expensive house and it's not in Ellicott and it's, you know, a typical house, typical condo in this case, you know, how long does that take to sell in Colorado Springs? 56 days is a safe one. It's going to be fall for after that. And that's typically where you start considering doing a price drop, is after that 56 days. You can be more aggressive if you need to. I like to try to not be aggressive. If it takes 56 days on a median to get a house under contract, why would you be dropping your price down before that? I don't know, but some agents like to do that. And based on circumstances, it might be necessary to do that, and that's okay too. So price decreases, 41% of the condos that go up for sale take a price decrease before they sell. Normal market would be 33% would take a price decrease before you sell. So no, actually it looks like condos are getting better. It was higher recently, 50%, now down to 41%. So price increases, 2% of the condos for sale take a price increase before they sell. That could be for a clerical error. That could be for the neighbor property went under contract or sold, and they had more evidence to show, hey, maybe this is worth more than we thought it was. Maybe we should change the price. Relisted, 15% take, make it all the way to the end of the listing period, whatever that might be, a month, a week, 6 months, between the agent and the seller, and do not sell, and then have to be relisted before they sell. A normal market, I believe, is around 10%. So we're just a little bit over that. Inventory, you can see it's been climbing since August, was 257, now it's over 300. Rent, you know, you may or may not be considering rent, but pretty much flatlined. And honestly, I don't know where they get that data from, so I'm a little reluctant to say that's really accurate. And then down here, I'm just going to flip it to inventory real quick here. And then I'm going to remove the 7-day average so you can kind of see it. But what you got here is the inventory. How's the inventory going? You know, there's a lot on the market, there's a little bit on the market. And this is a pretty good representation of that. You can kind of see here, currently we're around 296 condos for sale in Colorado Springs. And you can see back in December of 2018, pre-COVID land, 167. And you can see the lows during COVID, 42. You know, you can see we were higher, right? So there's definitely, if you're a seller, you have a lot more to compete with, and if you're a buyer, you have a lot more to look at, and that's one of the things that triggers the negotiation, right? If the seller wants to sell it, they got to be a little bit more flexible. There's a lot more competition out there. There's a lot more sellers being willing to be flexible around certain things to get their property sold. Price, terms, appliances, you know, speed of getting out, how fast they'll allow them to close, or being difficult during the transaction, that kind of thing. You know, because we're up at 296 and it's climbing here. And it's kind of interesting. This is the first time I've looked at this chart in quite a while, so it's kind of interesting to see how high the inventory has actually gone in the condo world. You know, so if you're trying to sell, you really need to have something. You need to have your stuff dialed in. You know, you need to listen to your agent when he's trying to tell you to declutter and fix the low-hanging fruit. I've got a whole video on that, like a seller's checklist. I think I even have a video here. I'll try to maybe link it here in the video for you guys, but it kind of helps you figure out what you need to do without, you know, redo the kitchen, remodel the bathrooms, you put new carpet in. Yes, that all works if you have a ton of money and a ton of time and you want to go through the frustration. Okay. You know, if you want to do that, reach out to me. I can kind of help you through that. We can talk about it depending on the scale of that. But if not, my little video and checklist kind of walks you through the things that you can do that are relatively cheap, that really, really help with a buyer's perspective of value. So, you know, it's one of the ways to get a little bit more money without investing a lot more money. So anyway, you know, hopefully you found this video useful. It's all about condos. Again, if you want to see a different video, different zip code, or maybe, you know, maybe it's out of state, you can still reach out to me. I can do a similar video on that. The numbers work the same way in every state, so it's not a big deal. I don't have to be overly familiar with the market where you live to do a video like this, because the data is here, and it all means the same things. So with that, if you need any help, you see my number there on the top of the screen, 719-212-4911, or you can visit my website, homes719.com. Usual stuff with YouTube, right? If you like it, subscribe, like that kind of stuff helps me out, helps other people out more than it helps me out. They get to see the video. so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I love to talk to you. No question is too small or too soon. Questions are free, and I love to talk to you about it. So again, 719-212-4911. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye now.